I know you have a lot of people asking what you do now and what the decision is. Do you prep for the Olympics? Do you transition to MMA? Do you stick with wrestling? What do you think, Yianni? What's going through your mind now as you have all of these people talking about you and everyone wondering what you're going to do now that your college career is over?
I mean, it's a super exciting time, right? Coming off of a really big milestone in my life, and now I have a lot of opportunities presented to me. Obviously, for me, that ultimate goal of being an Olympic champion is right in front of me, right? So that's kind of the big thing on my mind right now. Um, Obviously, I'm still going to be involved with the Cornell program. I want to be able to help those guys out. We're very close to winning a national team title, and I want to kind of help be a maybe a mentor from the outside, helping those guys out and pushing the team to that level of success.
Now I understand it's a little different because you if you start making money elsewhere, then the Olympics not a possibility. Olympic gold, MMA gold somewhere, UFC gold. Is there any comparison in your mind, or is the Olympic gold medal just so far and away the greater accomplishment to you?
To me, the Olympic Games is the pinnacle for me. Obviously, the guys who are succeeding in the UFC or Bellator are great athletes, phenomenal athletes. But part of the allure of the Olympic Games to me is this is something I've been doing for almost 19 years, literally the entire adult lifespan of people, and it's been my dream since I was a little kid like that, and it's something that I don't think I could just turn away from and go compete in something else. It's something that really, really sits in my heart to at least, see really like how far I can go, what my real ceiling is. I think that's a really big, point of emphasis for me is kind of where am I going to go with all this? What's this going to do? Where's this going to take me?
Absolutely. What is your feeling on MMA? I mean, you've got someone like Jordan Burroughs never did it. You have someone like Bo Nickel who we're now watching do it. What is your thought on MMA, and do you plan to get into the sport?
I think it's awesome. It's really cool. I think it's doing a ton for wrestling too.
Yeah.
I think you're bringing in a lot more casual fans that way who are seeing what guys like, you mentioned Bo Nickel, but also, Henry Cejudo or John Jones, Daniel Cormier, and even,
Yeah.
the Russian fighters like Khabib and Islam Makhachev
Yeah.
are guys that they get their, I mean, they're doing sambo, but it's wrestling, you know what I mean? And the
Yeah.
Americans are wrestling. The guys who are succeeding are wrestlers. And I think that's bringing a ton of attention to the sport. I have a ton of respect for a guy who makes a living getting in there and getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
All right. It's an incredibly difficult and tough thing to do. For me, I mean, it's one of those things that sounds super cool. Sounds like it would be fun to try, but I can't imagine not pursuing this Olympic year. Who knows what's going to happen in the future, what might change, but right now it's just, that's what's really at the forefront of my mind.
Has anybody like Dana White called you yet? Tried to contact you?
No one at that level. I mean, maybe some agents or whatever have talked about the possibility of it, but I mean, that would be a really cool phone call to get, but no, nothing
I'm
super crazy
sure,
like
and
that.
knowing them a little bit, I'm sure they'd love to have you. Have you are you inspired at all by watching some of the success that either your contemporaries or people who have come through wrestling in the past and the success that they've had? Obviously, a lot of people feel it's the greatest base and you have the most success. So has that sort of said, hey, I can do this if I want to?
Yeah, it's like a source of pride to me. I take a lot of pride in the wrestlers succeeding at that level, especially because, some of those guys are really good. Like Henry Cejudo is an Olympic gold medalist,
Yeah.
is the pinnacle of the sport,
Right.
you know, and it's really cool to see a guy like that who shows up and he was as dominant in the UFC as he was, right?
Yeah.
And, it's something I take a lot of pride in, and it does make me feel like I could do it. You
Yeah.
see
Hey,
guys
why
doing
not?
it. We always make the joke like, oh, if I could learn how to box and not get choked out, like I feel like I could get in there. And obviously there's 100 steps between where I'm at right now and
Right.
having UFC title contender level hands. But, we always make the joke, like, oh, I'm right there. I'm right there.
Yeah. That no, I hear you completely. I'll get you out of here on this. Sort of putting the politics of it aside, Yanni. how about having a former president of the United States in the building, and watching you guys compete, and I would imagine that's got to be pretty cool. Again, politics aside.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, people like obviously there's always going to be backlash
Yeah,
when things that happen, but I think it's really cool. I think it's awesome for the sport, and it is cool because it's not, there wasn't I mean, I'm sure that there's things to benefit from Donald Trump as well being there, but for himself, but also it's really cool. People were talking about the national tournament that probably weren't talking about it before,
right.
and it's another way, you're bringing attention to the sport, and who knows, that could have started a chain of events where presidents start to come to
Right.
these type of events to show face. And I mean, maybe that's not the case, but I think it's really cool recognition. You have somebody who made it to be as far as president of the United States, regardless of how you feel about what they did in office. I think it's a cool recognition, and it would be really cool if that was the catalyst to have, more presidents of the United States appearing at these national tournaments. I think it's good, you know, and yeah, yeah, you gotta be careful nowadays. But I
No,
think,
I,
it's cool.
I know you guys, and I'm gonna let you go now, Yanni. I know you guys just sacrifice a tremendous amount, more so probably than any other athletes in any other sports. And that's gotten it some attention. I think, like you said too, everything I know about wrestling is because of MMA, or most of it at least. And that's pretty awesome. And you guys deserve it. And man, I'm excited to watch what you do. Go get on that Olympic team, go win yourself a medal, and then we'll see what happens from there. How about that?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Thank you very much.